I thought that maybe he didn't think very highly of himself from the beginning. So that's why he thought it was okay for him to do bad things, because no one would care and he wouldn't care.
Yeah. One of the things I was struck with in that story is there's a deep psychological truth hidden in this story in terms of this notion of projection, psychological projection. And it goes something like this. He didn't appreciate that along with his evil, there was also another part of him. The peacemaker was in some ways hidden. And that's a little bit hard to start at that place, but what I try to do with my students back at school, because they're all tangled, all of us are all tangled up in terms of psychological projections. I don't see you clearly. I project something of myself on you. And I don't see the authentic Maria, right? Or the authentic Stella. I've got all kinds of my own psychology sort of covering you, so I don't really clearly see who you are. So what I do to get these students started in understanding this notion of projection is I have them pick a person of the same sex. For all you folks, it would be another woman. For the men in the class, it would be another man. And I say, find somebody you really dislike, the person you get most angry or feel the most hatred or negative feelings one way or another. And then, just for yourself, for nobody else, don't let anybody see your list, write down exactly which characteristics you find so offensive. You already thinking of somebody? Good. You're ready to do it. so you got to think of who it is you think. And Stella's going to think of it, and she's going to say, oh, she's dishonest, she's a show-off, or whatever it is, right? And you write down not just, I don't like her, but just what is it that you don't like. Then you spend some time with that list and you try to really be precise as you can. Now, according to Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, what you've done, actually, is you've written down a list of the characteristics of the part of Stella or the part of Maria or Natalie that you don't want to recognize. Now you say, oh, wait a minute, no, she really is nasty, or she really is. Yeah, she may be, but the fact that you get emotionally involved says it's something about you or about me. That's the trick. The feeling content of it, the fact that you get so aroused you can't be neutral towards that person, means your psychology, your traits are going out on that person. And so you're not seeing the real person. Not only aren't you seeing the real person, but you're in a kind of compulsive relationship. You can't let go. In other words, if that woman, let's say Maria's problem woman, if she comes to the table and sit right now, you can't just relax. You're always like on edge. You're ready to maybe, pounce. You know what I mean? Yeah, pounce, exactly. You say, damn her, she does that all the time, you know? Yeah. And so you're in a compulsive kind of relationship. You're not free. And of course, you don't see who she truly is. So that's certainly a part of the problem. And the other thing is, insofar as you haven't recognized that part in yourself, you haven't claimed the good side of that projection. Let me just be concrete. Let's say she's a show-off, and you really hate it. She comes in, you know, she does her thing, and all the guys look at her, you know, but you like to do that a little bit too. So you say, oh, no, I don't do that. I'm very modest and very shy. Well, modesty and shyness, that's a good quality. On the other hand, there's a time where you need that thing. Let's say you have to address a bunch of people, and you know, you have a big group of people, and you got to stand up in front of them, and you've got to put yourself forward and your ideas and your views of things. That takes a certain kind of quality of, you know, I'm here, I'm out there, you know? So there's a positive side to being a show-off. If you just do it all the time and you're trying to just attract attention from men or women, as the case may be, or, you know, then it's not a good quality. On the other hand, almost all these negative things have a positive side. So that's what's called projecting the shadow, what Jung calls the shadow, the dark side of our personality. Because you were told as a girl, oh no, it's not good to be a show-off. You're supposed to be modest. You're not supposed to flaunt your sexuality to get attention from men and all that business, right? But she does that nasty little thing, right? So she's obviously something you hate, okay? So the first step is to be clear about what it is you don't like. Then you start examining, you say, because my feelings are so powerfully aroused, I know this has got something to do with me. And that's the beginning of understanding something deeper about yourself. And then once you get clear on your own involvement in this thing, you begin to really see the unique person in front of you. She's not just a coat hook for you to hang your own stuff on. You follow what I'm saying, right? So that's the negative side of it. But the positive side is something like this. When you fall in love with a man, let's say in the case of women, or in the case of a man, or when I fall in love with a woman, that mysterious quality that draws me to them, that I just can't get enough of them. I just want to be in her presence, or his presence in your case. It's a little harder to see, but in that case, you're also projecting, according to Jung, your unknown masculine qualities onto that person. And that's why you're so powerfully drawn to them. It's easier to see the dark side, but the positive side that draws people together is also equally powerful. And again, you have this thing of you don't really see who's there. Like, I'll bet you've seen friends of yours, you say, I don't know what she sees in that guy, right? It's a bad thing. They shouldn't be together. But you know that saying, love is blind?
Yeah.
Well, love is blind because it's so full of projections. And then sometime after, let's say you get married or you get deeply involved with the person, and life teaches you that maybe that person's not quite who you originally thought. Those projections don't fit the reality. Then all the troubles begin. So the projection plays an enormous role in relationships, both with people of the same sex, the opposite sex. And then in this Iroquois story that we're talking about, this evil person does not appreciate that he has also good qualities in himself, that these parts he has not claimed as his own. Just like I don't claim my show-off qualities in that other person, I also don't claim some of the real good aspects of me. Let's say you have a great love of some kind of heroic personality. I don't care whether it's a sports figure or a great statesman or let's say an artist or writer or something like that. And you fall, you're under a magic spell in some ways because Stella hasn't seen that aspect of herself. And so you don't have the ability to make use of that energy. So like a bad guy, he didn't have a sense of his own good qualities. And he was stunned initially to see it there. And that was the beginning of taking it back into himself. Why does he want to take it into himself? Because then he can use it. It's not only something that binds him in some kind of compulsive relationship that he can't get out of, that obscures the person he's actually seeing, but it becomes a quality that he can use constructively in his own life. So this business of projection is a very powerful idea, and it really helps us relate in a positive and an intelligent way to each other.